It's Window Wandering Wednesday here on the Go Joe Show with me, Joe. This is the show where I talk about headlines from startups, business, science, technology, all the while looking out of windows from all over the world. And this week is chock full of goodness, including a deep dive into how Europe controls big tech. But then we also got Amazon space Wi-Fi, we got quantum teleportation, we got YouTubers, we got synthetically grown muscles, we got biohacking, and best of all, we got Pornhub. Let's wander. As I mentioned at the top of the show, I'll be looking out of windows from all over the world and reading headlines. Let's jump right into it. Our first window is in Germany, in Wolfenbüttel, Germany. Looks like a typical German city. Yeah, nice blue skies. But let's get into the headlines here. And as I mentioned at the top of the show, again, we're talking about how Europe controls big tech in America. Let's jump right into it before we get to the other exciting stuff. Europe once again dropped the hammer on big tech. The largest tech players in Europe, like SAP, worth 148 billion. Spotify, whom you probably use to stream all your music, worth 60 billion. Adyen, which is a payments platform kind of like Square, 57 billion, are minnows compared to competitors in America. Places or companies like Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, Alphabet / Google, and Facebook have market caps each between 780 billion or $2.2 trillion. Or also in China, Tencent and Alibaba are both worth 700+ billion US dollars. So SAP being the closest at 148 billion, still not even touching the kneecaps of these other people, if we're talking about height. Though Europe may lack the punch on the business side, it compensates with big hammer when it comes to regulation. It'll swing that ban hammer around big tech with fines and all sorts of good stuff. And on Tuesday, the European Commission came out swinging like Thor, the god of thunder, swinging their hammer. Two proposed bills in the EU are meant to regulate tech, which will affect American companies. And here's what's on the table. The two bills are the Digital Services Act, which will require tech players that reach 10% of EU's population to, quote, actively look for and mitigate risks available on their platform. So if the tech company is servicing at least 10% of the EU's population, which is not an easy task to do. I mean, the European population is around 450 million people. So that's like what, 45,000 people, right? Yeah, 4,500,000 people. 4,500,000 people, yes. Of the EU's population, they would have to actively look for and mitigate any risks involved with their platform. And this is probably a lot around big data or seeing things that you shouldn't be, having child porn on your platform, having death threats, that sort of thing. And then the second bill is called the Digital Markets Act, which would ban behavior by, quote, gatekeeper tech companies, such as forced bundling of services and create obligations to smaller competitors, such as price transparency. So Digital Markets Act, actually, it sounds like it's wrapping in a bunch of things all up into one. So gatekeeper tech, forcing bundling of services. This has been happening a lot with companies like, for example, HBO, and then Apple also bundling a bunch of their services together. And then they also have to be more transparent about the price of these services. So they can't bundle the services, and they have to be more transparent around price. And that's actually really interesting to me, because a lot of these marketplaces and a lot of these platforms that you hop onto, sometimes I struggle as I'm doing competitive research and starting companies to find what even pricing these companies are setting for their services or their products. Super frustrating. And so I like this digital marketplace price transparency, though as somebody who is starting marketplaces or developing marketplaces, it's definitely something that I'm going to have to now take into account when we are starting companies at the business builder that I work at here in Europe, in Germany. And the UK is also going to roll out similar legislation, even though they have left the European Union. They're going to start regulating these tech companies in a similar vein. Though no names were named, the EU's gatekeeper cutoffs example. Okay, so they said gatekeeper tech companies, but they didn't name any names, and the gatekeeper cutoffs are minimum sales of at least 8 billion and a market cap of at least 80 billion. So they're saying that makes it look like they're going after big tech, which is, I mean, pretty obvious. Yeah. If the rule doesn't apply to you unless you have a minimum sale of 8 billion or a market cap of 80 billion. So there's definitely going after big tech companies. And the source of, so we've covered how Europe is affecting big tech through legislation. They've done this already with the GDPR stuff that affected companies in America. If they wanted to operate in Europe, they had to abide by those rules, and so it actually increased security for everybody across the world because Europe did this. And so the source of Europe's influence with this ban hammer, or with this legislative hammer, is its massive economy. So the countries in the European Union have a combined population, as I mentioned, of 450 million people and a GDP of $20 trillion, which is right up there with China and the USA. In what is known as the, quote, Brussels effect, it's a nod to the EU city where rules are made. Europe's size allows us to create laws that the biggest corporations around the world must follow in order to access its market, and an important market it is at $20 trillion and 450 million people. The last major hit was the General Data Protections Regulation, as I mentioned, GDPR. Privacy law, which dished out 200 million plus in fines for 2020 alone. I'm sure big companies like Facebook were probably hit with big fines because of it. If I remember correctly, they were. Violators for these new rules, I think, can be hit with fines of 6 to 10% of their annual worldwide revenue. 10% of Apple's revenue is $25 billion plus, which is just a touch more than the $550,000 Twitter got fined for violating GDPR. Or they could also get broken up for abusive behavior, which is interesting. I didn't realize that Europe could push breakups of tech companies. I guess they would have to work together with the US government for that to happen because of antitrust. But if companies do not abide by these two new bills, the Digital Markets Act and the Digital Services Act, then they could be faced with potential antitrust or anti-monopoly lawsuits or being broken up for some sort of abuses. So Amazon better be watching out, because this sounds definitely gunning for them and their, I guess, abusive behavior of how they treat small competitors using their own data to remake their products and then sell them as Amazon Basics, which is really messed up. And one win for tech, the liability shield for content that passes through a platform would remain. I'm not really sure what the liability shield for content is. That means the content that they consider part of a platform. I'm not sure what that means. Well, there's no guarantee the bills will get passed. Oh, so they haven't been passed. They've just been proposed. Europe's antitrust czar, Marguerite Vestager, sure has some ominous words. Quote, "We need to make rules that can bring order into chaos," suggesting that these big tech companies are creating chaos, or at least, I mean, not chaos, but for sure, wealth disparity between the classes, for sure. So very interesting. That is how Europe influences tech, with the law, with regulation. Who would have thought that you could actually regulate these companies through doing something about it, like, I don't know, passing bills, or, you know, actually fining them, or making them follow the rules that have been set forth for business. And in the US, we have a history of breaking up companies. So this has, I think, just been kind of a cycle, and we're nearing the end of that cycle where these companies are going to get broken up. It's going to bring in new players in the market, and then all of a sudden, the American economy will once again flourish with more wealth disbursement between everybody. So thanks, Europe, for doing something around digital companies and actually taking it seriously, unlike America. The GDPR Act was great. A lot of people didn't like it, but I think most of those people were running businesses. I know it's been a huge pain in our collective ass running our businesses, and these digital services and digital markets acts, I'm sure, will also have some sort of ripple effects that they're just not thinking about, as happens with regulation, but that's the way it is. We invent these new services and these new technologies through the internet, and then we don't regulate them, and then things go haywire. So we've got to do something about this because money is flowing and we need to protect people. And also, we can't have money pooling into buckets in these big tech companies over and over again, just getting richer and richer and richer, increasing their market caps more and more. Eventually, you're going to have to split up those companies, split those stocks, and let them grow again. And then everybody wins as these companies become greater in pieces than they were as part of a collective. So thank you, Europe, for influencing big tech through regulation. Let's grab a new window here before we jump into some of the other stories that I mentioned at the top of the show. See you later, Germany. Next, we've got a rainy Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Don't think so. Going to move on from that window. It's not a great window. I want something that we can see out of. Nice. We got Moscow, Russia. Nice sunny day to talk about the Milky Way. No, we're going to talk about not in the Milky Way yet. We're going to get to that in a minute. Actually, if I had sponsor content, I feel like I would do it right here. It'd be like, hey, this podcast is sponsored by Quip, the toothbrush company. It tracks you as you brush your teeth, and then you can earn rewards for having a nice, fresh smile. Like, why wouldn't you want to earn rewards by having a nice, fresh smile anyways? You should be brushing your teeth so people want to make out with you. It's like the easiest thing to encourage. I think that's what Quip should really move into, is that they make you kissable, and then you get some action. Who doesn't want action? Lady or man, everyone wants some action. Let's talk about Liz Page and some biohacking news. Biohacking, if you're not familiar with it, are a group of people that use, I guess, at-home medical labs and kits to experiment on their own bodies and hack their own biology by doing things like editing their genes, or in the past taking different supplements and experimenting with drugs that haven't been approved in order to enhance their, life and their abilities. So Liz Parrish, the CEO of Viva, is patient zero for her own anti-aging experiments. It's very exciting, as anti-aging is a growing field. For two anti-aging therapies here that the company is researching. BioViva is a biotechnology company that focuses on developing therapies to intervene in human aging, not animal aging. We're talking about human aging. One of the treatments involves injections of a myostatin inhibitor, which is expected to prevent age-associated muscle loss. Ain't suffering from that yet. And you know who else isn't? Is The Rock. I really want to know what The Rock is taking. Yeah, I know he's got to be taking supplements, and it's not just food related on how he looks so goddamn ripped at the age that he is. He's for sure taking some sort of gene therapy or hormonal stuff. I would love to know what The Rock is taking. If you know, you let me know in the comments, because, man, I would love to look as good as The Rock at his age. I already got the hair for it. The other therapy is a Telomerase gene therapy expected to lengthen her telomeres. As early results show that the length of telomeres, which are these like strings at the end of your, I think, DNA cells, the longer they are, means the healthier and younger that your body is. So the early results show that the length of the telomeres of the T lymphocytes and blood samples taken from Parrish had grown to a length in 6 months since the therapies had grown in length in the 6 months since she started her therapies. That's incredible. I'm excited for this. We are definitely living at a time right now where age is becoming more of a problem that we can solve. It's more of a disease than a natural course of action at this point. At least that is how people who are in the anti-aging field will look at it. People like, I think his name is Brian Sinclair is the author. I have one of his books called Lifespan. Or David Sinclair. I think it's David Sinclair, not Brian. David Sinclair. Book called Lifespan. If you want to learn all about how your body ages, what happens to the cells, really incredible read. I like it. So Liz Parrish already trying out some anti-aging therapies, and they seem to be working. Her telomeres have grown, and then she's got that myostatin inhibitor to grow or keep the muscle that she has. I don't know how old Liz Parrish is. It wasn't in the article here, but there is a link to an interview about the therapies and her feelings on being the first patient, which I will link to in the description below if you want to check it out. I'm personally looking forward to living a nice long life and living a healthier life. I think these gene therapies will help us live longer, healthier lives. So then, man, it's just so exciting. We're going to get to a point where either we are going to be integrating technology into our bodies to remain healthier longer, or doing these like gene therapies to biologically have longer time here on Earth. And then there's going to be a fight at some point between the biohackers, the gene babies, and the cybernetic hackers and the cyber squad. I was trying to make up the cyber squad versus the biohackers or something. Let's grab a new window here as we get another news story about, we'll see here. Oh, we got Los Angeles, California. We got a cat. We'll leave it here because cats are nice. Just chilling over here in the corner. We got somebody jogging outside. Look like a mask-wearing person, so this must be a recent window here. As I mentioned earlier in last week's episode, Algorithms for Love Japan will launch an AI dating service. The population has shrunk for the past 13 years. There's a lot of economic insecurity in Japan, and young people in Japan have seemed to have lost interest in marriage, dating, and sex altogether. It's become a concern so big that the Japanese government announced 2 billion yen, otherwise known as $19 million US, to make an artificial intelligence matchmaking service. I mentioned it last week because China is actually interested in borrowing that technology from Japan. I think it's pretty funny that these companies are so concerned about making their population fit together. Also, speaking of fitting, Amazon wants to scan your whole body. Amazon recently unveiled a brand called Made For You that makes custom fitted clothes. Its first product is a $25 custom t-shirt. The process starts with the user inputting body dimension data to create virtual body double, after which they can choose color, sleeve length, and neckline of the shirt. Amazon has declined to discuss its manufacturing process in detail, but the website says shirts are made in the US with imported fabric. It eventually plans to add other things to the platform, probably a pair of jeans that perfectly show off your ass. We can all use that, man. But or not, if you can get some jeans that show off your ass, well, man, Japan won't need that AI dating service. You just got to give everyone these nice custom fitted Amazon butt huggers, and then Japanese will start, oh, you're the rabbit, you know what I mean? Just humping like rabbits, chewing on carrots. Don't know what that means. But so Amazon wants to scan your body. This is really interesting, as just this week I was messing around with a program called Meshroom, where you can take your cell phone, just take pictures in a circle around an object that's kind of lit well. So you take pictures of all sorts of different angles, get a close up, and then you upload 150 to maybe 200 photos of this object that you've taken pictures of. Full 360 degrees. Well, not full 360 degrees because you can't get under it, but full at least 180 degrees. You upload these photos into Meshroom, and then it generates a 3D object, a digital twin of the what you just took a picture of. If you have a really nice graphics card, you can even generate a Mesh 2 that you can export into 3D editing programs like Unreal Tournament, Unity, or those are game platforms, or Max or Maya, which are 3D modeling programs. And then you can edit the object, and it already has a texture on it. It already has a mesh. It's actually pretty incredible. You would be creating what is called a digital twin, and digital twins are going to become very important in the future here, not just for industries like engineering, where you can make a digital twin of all the different objects in an object. In a piece, like a helicopter would be an object. You can make a digital twin of all the objects inside of the helicopter, where they're fitting and what they actually look like. And then if it breaks down 5 years later and that helicopter is not in production anymore, you can go back into that digital twin, pick out that exact thing, and then 3D print it out. And then, man, you've got either a mold for that product again, or you have the actual product created so that you can repair that thing. It's pretty rad. Digital twins are going to be super important. And it sounds like Amazon is trying to make a digital twin of you, which I was also thinking of, while I was making these mushroom pictures of a lunchbox of mine that I have. That it would be awesome to have a digital twin of myself that you can like try out different looks on. You can try different hairstyles. You could try putting tattoos. Like maybe I want to see what I look like with a nice neck tattoo. I can throw that on. Maybe I want to make sure that I really like the design that I've chosen for an arm tattoo. I could put that on there in my digital twin. Put necklaces on. You could just try out different things. I think it's potentially a really big business, and I haven't really seen anybody doing it. If you want to do it, it's a free idea for you, digital twin of people so they can try out all sorts of different stuff on their own bodies. I think it's really interesting, and it will eventually happen. Somebody's going to do it, for sure. Not at all what I wanted to talk about, but yeah, just went a little bit of a rant. Also, let's see here. Didn't mention this at the top of the show, but I think it's interesting. Coinbase just filed to go public with an IPO, likely debuting in early 2021. It's unknown whether Coinbase will do a direct listing or a traditional IPO, but it's really interesting that Coinbase is listing on the stock market. So that's kind of an exchange listing on another exchange, though it's an exchange for digital currencies listing on a fiat exchange. I don't really know how that works. It's very weird. And then also, if Coinbase does well because cryptocurrencies do well, what does that mean if their stock is then on a fiat currency market and they're doing cryptocurrencies? It's a whole weird thing. Like, I don't even know how to think about it. That an exchange is listed on another exchange. I don't know if that's ever been done before, because then if I don't know, that's just, if they can list on each other, then maybe the NYSE could start, on the New York Stock Exchange could start like a cryptocurrency and list on Coinbase, and they can just like have some sort of weird circle jerk. I don't know. That's a really weird thing. But so that is happening in 2021, and I'm sure it'll be a really nice IPO, depending on what their financials look like. I know really nothing about Coinbase. Full disclosure, I actually own coins in Coinbase. Shout out to Bitcoin, doing really well recently. Getting back on track, though, we've got, I do this every week, and I try to be so goddamn organized, and I never am. Okay, Amazon's answer to SpaceX Starlink is delivering 400 megabytes per second Wi-Fi from space in satellites, or from satellites. Amazon's Project Kuiper has completed initial development on its Ka brand phased array antenna. No idea what that is. Development on its Ka band. Ka band? Ka band? I don't know what a Ka band is. It sounds like it's a type of like frequency. Phased array antenna for its customer terminal. That whole sentence just confuses me. The antenna is based on a new architecture that can deliver high-speed, low-latency broadband in a form factor that is smaller and lighter than current antenna designs. It is capable of delivering speeds of up to 400 megabytes per second, with Amazon promising better performance in future versions. The antenna was difficult to develop because of the wide frequency range that it needs to cover. Amazon plans to invest over $10 billion in Project Kuiper. In July, it received approval from the FCC to launch 3,236 low Earth orbit satellites. That's a lot of space junk that we're throwing up into low orbit. But if they can pull it off, if Amazon or Starlink can pull this off and deliver broadband internet wherever you are, you just connect to that space satellite up there in the low orbit. That is awesome, man. Finding Wi-Fi is like the modern day first world problem number one. I don't have good Wi-Fi. I can't find Wi-Fi. And as we all go more and more remote, it's going to be even more important for us to have access to Wi-Fi wherever we're at. on planet Earth, as it's one of the things that keep us all connected and really link us to information. It's quite incredible that we've offloaded information from libraries into the internet, which then we now have all access to every single moment of our lives through a cell phone that's pretty much a part of us at this point. So that's exciting that Project Kuiper is doing this, or Kuiper, whatever this is called. 400 megabytes per second is pretty good, especially since it's coming from space. So that's very rad. We got space internet. We got Wi-Fi from space. That is one hell of a router that they're gonna put up there in space. I think that's pretty cool though. Shooting up routers and satellites. Shout out to my friend Z. He started a company called Space Chain. If you want, you go to spacechain.com. It's the blockchain in space, and I know he's working with all sorts of people to launch satellites and do some cool stuff. If you want to check it out, reach out to Z. Grabbing a new window here real quick. We got Edinburgh, Scotland. I believe I have a friend living in Edinburgh, so this is what it looks like. I've never actually looked at it, but now I kind of know what it looks like here. Looks like a nice place. Nice sunny skies, nice buildings, nice water. Pretty nice. Whiskey. Getting to another story that I talked about at the top of the show, we've got quantum teleportation. I hope eventually this moves into human teleportation. I would love to be able to teleport. A team of scientists has successfully transported basic units of quantum information across 22 kilometers of fiber using equipment that is compatible with both existing telecommunications infrastructure and emerging quantum technologies. The research provides a realistic foundation for the high-fidelity quantum internet. Previous attempts at quantum teleportation have proven to be unstable over long distances. The team's goal is to eventually create quantum networks that use entanglement and superposition to vastly increase computing speed, power, and security. A more detailed explanation of quantum teleportation is available in the article they have linked there. That is amazing. Actually, I didn't realize we were using quantum teleportation, or that we want to use quantum teleportation for long distance internet. It makes it actually sound like it would be almost instant internet. Like quantum internet, I feel like would be pretty much instant. We're not talking about 400 megabytes per second. We're talking about instant per second, as it's just there across a fiber network. I think it sounds like it would be almost instant because of quantum entanglement. Like if you move one, automatically the other one changes with almost no time passed, or at least so little time passed that we wouldn't be able to perceive it as humans. And the fact that it's equipment that is capable or compatible with existing communications infrastructure and emerging quantum tech means that this could be here sooner than we think. And I wonder if this would replace this G thing, this 4G, 5G, 6G technology that we have for current data transfer. Super amazing. Good luck to these scientists. I know nothing about quantum teleportation and quantum computing other than the fact that we get another third state, which is like a superposition state, which is neither on or off. It's both on and off at the same time until we look at it, and then it's either on or off, meaning that a quantum decoder could exist as the encrypted string already, and then we would just have to look at it, observe it, and then it would just pop into existence as the string that it's decrypting, and thus we would just be able to crack something almost instantaneously. I believe that is a total conjecture. I have no idea what the reality of that is, but I think that's how it works. The U.S. Army is creating robots with synthetically grown muscle. Another headline here. The U.S. Army has been researching a technical approach that uses robots and biohybrid muscle elements. Biohybrid robotics incorporates living organisms into mechanical systems, delivering a new level of agility and flexibility. The research could show the biohybrid engineering community how to grow strong muscular tissue. Muscular tissue is excellent at generating a specific amount of mechanical power at a given moment. By using biological components, the U.S. Army hopes to develop robots capable of going anywhere soldiers can and beyond. So, we're approaching Terminator bots here. This is what I've been talking about, that some people are going to go down this biological hack route and other people are going to go down this technological hack route, and there's going to be people that combine it to become super beings, and these super beings are probably going to be the next stage of human evolution, or we're going to be stupid and we're going to give them some sort of intelligence, which is not anywhere very close in the future, but it could be within our lifetime, maybe, depending on how things pan out here. And if these biohybrid robots that have organic muscles, as our muscles are like one of the best forms of generating movement, that we know of, if we combine machinery with biological, we're creating these super beings, these hybrid beings. And we've already seen Boston Dynamics make robots that can do like backflips, and then they can climb up stuff and do, I don't know, all sorts of gymnastics, get themselves up if they've been knocked over. And now we're going to give them muscles to make them stronger, that they can like even, I think it sounds like they would be able to build muscle as well. So we're making these unstoppable machines. We give them intelligence. Like, we're pretty much creating Terminator robots. Like, what are we doing? How fascinating, though, if we could maybe download our consciousness into one of these stronger beings. It really sounds like we're making our own new bodies here. Like, this is where we're headed. The genie's out of the bottle. I don't think we can stop it. Thanks, U.S. Army, for creating our new either overlords or new bodies. I could use a new body. I'm sure by the time I need one, this one will be broken down. Heck, this one's probably breaking down already. Then we wouldn't have to worry about things like COVID, because we'd be machines, dude. We wouldn't just have machine lungs. We would be literal machines. Quick story here. I also mentioned at the top of the show, Ryan Kaji he's a 9-year-old YouTuber that makes like probably Roblox videos and unboxing videos of Legos and toys. Made $29.5 million this year. It really pays to be an unboxing YouTuber. Maybe on this channel I gotta start unboxing stuff. Unbox, I have no idea what I would unbox. The cool startup stuff, products that I find, I guess. I have no idea. It seems like that's what you got to get into, though, if you want to be successful on YouTube, because ain't no one watching this show. We know that. That is for damn sure. Ryan Kaji, congratulations on making a ridiculous amount of money. Cool. Making me feel useless here. I feel like, man, what am I doing? Last one is a story about the Milky Way being full of dead civilizations. A recent study in our galaxy has concluded that it is likely full of dead civilizations. The study used modern astronomy and statistical modeling to map the emergence and death of intelligent life forms presumed across the Milky Way. Yeah, right. Presumed. We know they're out there. There's definitely intelligent life out there. If you don't think there is, out of the hundreds of millions, potentially billions of planets out there, that there's nothing else out there, dude, you got to check your ego at the door. There's 100% something else out there somewhere. For sure, 100%. According to the study, intelligent creatures tend towards self-annihilation, kind of like what we're doing. Many older civilizations were likely clustered in a band of around 1,300 light years away at the center of the galaxy, where there are the most sun-like stars. Civilizations that exist today are likely young, like us. There's definitely something else out there. It might not look like us, but it's for sure out there. There's other intelligent life out there. I hate to break it to you, but there's hundreds of thousands, if not billions of planets out there. And if you think we're the only ones, get out. Just get out. I gotta stop talking about it. One last window here in France. Oh my God, what a gorgeous window. Wow. We got the sun setting. It's like the perfect color. The perfect position. That just blew my mind. What a gorgeous view. Thanks, Carol. That's incredible. It took my breath away. Whew. Good one. Perfect story to talk about porn. Last story here is about Pornhub, a website I'm positive that you are familiar with, but they did something recently that is honestly for the best. I'm glad that they did it, and I'm glad that there was a company that pushed them to do it. And what we're talking about here is the fact that Pornhub, where, my goodness, I'm on the story. Pornhub. Where are you at, Pornhub? There we go. Pornhub, everyone's secret homepage, purged 10 million videos after losing credit card support. So Pornhub purged 10 million videos from a bunch of its unverified uploaders, and from now on, it will only host videos created by official content partners and creators from the site's verified models program, as at least 10,000 or 10 million videos were removed in the purge because Discover, MasterCard, and Visa stop accepting payments from Pornhub, which is obviously a big deal. If Pornhub can't make money, then it's not a good business, and they probably have astronomical streaming costs with the amount that we're all taking care of ourselves during this coronavirus pandemic. And that was because I don't remember if it was Discover or MasterCard or Visa. Maybe it was Visa who actually put out the study, but they discovered that there was a bunch of child pornography hidden within all of this stuff, just underage actresses and actors having videos hosted of them on the website. And so Pornhub removed all of their unverified videos. That's 10 million plus, and they now are only hosting verified content. It just means that some other company is going to come in and host these videos that are unverified. There's plenty of them out there, but Pornhub is obviously the biggest pornography page on the internet, and they will only be hosting verified clips. And so if all these, I hope that Discover, MasterCard, and Visa hold that policy for all of these porn companies, and then it really forces people to be verified. Thus, we can make sure that there's no, humiliating clips or illegal clips on the internet. It just can't be illegal. And I did listen to a really interesting interview with the MasterCard guy, and he really was drawing a line between his own moral standpoints and his and legal standpoints. And he was saying, my morality, I don't look at my morality when I'm looking at these decisions. I just look at the legality. If my morals were included in any of this, I would be in big trouble, because I have my own feelings around pornography and everything, but I can't apply those feelings to the company. We still need to provide them with payment processing. It's not any legal service, and my morals have nothing to do with it. And for a CEO to say that, I think that's really important, bringing, especially around this and around payments, because he can't bring his morals into pornography. There's stuff that you don't like, cigarettes, alcohol, pornography, whatever it is. But if you're a company, you've got to be empowering business. So I thought it was really cool of him that he was very, very insistent about not having a moral stance when it comes to this. And that's been today's very long Window Wandering Wednesday. They seem to get longer and longer. I hope you learned something new. We had all sorts of exciting stuff around pornography, around European regulation, around synthetically grown muscles, around space Wi-Fi, around Japanese dating services, around Ryan making $30 million unboxing stuff for kids on YouTube. Shout out to Legos. If you like my content, you like this show, hit that subscribe button and let me know that you like it. Come back every Wednesday where we got Window Wandering Wednesday going on with the best of big tech, startup, science, and technology news. Also check out some of my other content as well. I put out a video almost every single day to keep you entertained. They're pretty short, so I'd appreciate it if you give me those views, as the YouTube algorithm pays attention to how long you're watching my content. So if you just throw it on in the background, mute it, don't even care, that would actually mean a whole lot to me, just to help me grow this channel. And until next time, until we meet again, which I hope is soon, I want you to wander somewhere good, because you know it, I love you.